All right, welcome in everybody. A little bit right after 10:30 on the East Coast. So appreciate all of you tapping in with us. If it's bright and early on the West Coast with us, grab your coffee, throw in those headphones and go walk your dog, load up that sports book. Let us do all the work for you today while you enjoy this beautiful Saturday. Might be a little spicy and hot out there, but that's why we're coming into here to get your best bets in the MLB, the MLS, and then the Celtics versus the Heat. We'll have you covered with Serie A, the Premier League, and all that good stuff tomorrow, so you get a double dose of us on the weekend. The show is powered and sponsored by the Wise Guys Diamond Club, so be sure to be checking out that at the bottom because we got Roland Garros or the French Open, whatever you like to call it. That's starting up this week. We got the PGA still going, plus all your NHL playoff action. Down there is the bottom, is the top spot to get it if you don't like what we're doing here. As usual, live on Twitter. We appreciate all of you tapping in with us there. We still can't feature your comments, so if you want to be dropping your best plays so you can take a screen grab after the show for clout, whatever the hell you want to do, jump over to YouTube with Barry, Chad, DJ, our man Who You, back with us again. He's been here all week. Cassius got a doubleheader today with his White Sox, so we'll have to. No, it's tomorrow. It's the doubleheader. Today's the solo game, but we appreciate all of our returning people. Anyone first time, shout out to you. But
Lenny, what's up, my guy? That's my boy. That's
doing?
my guy, football coach. He's always in the spaces with us, rocking with us. I fuck with him heavy, man. Great dude. Great football mind. He knows the game.
So, Guardians came through with me yesterday. Savale shows up against the Tigers after 4 duds. He has a clean start, and Scooball goes back to what we know. He didn't get hit that much. It was more the pen. And then the Mavs blew at 6.5 for us last night. But I think that's why Eddie, our man Beer Guy, is saying, fuck the Warriors.
He'll be all right. He's a LeBron fan.
We felt the tide turn real quick.
He still believes they really won that title and they wasn't given to him. You know what I mean? He still believes that bullshit. So we'll just let him.
And we got our largest lead, man. This is his
Twitter
name.
It hit again.
At Revert Jinx. Revert, drop your UFC plays or follow him on Twitter.
Or just join the fucking stream because we can just send you the link.
I already sent it to him. He said he looked ugly when he joined, so he didn't want to come on.
Join the fucking stream. What's wrong with that guy?
Anything else you want to take away from last night?
Yeah.
Kevin Looney game?
Just basically what I've been fucking telling you for the last couple of weeks. I mean, this Golden State team operates at they operate at a different plane of intelligence. Y'all being smart changes shit when it comes to professional sports. Like, you could be a really good athlete, but usually if you're really intelligent, it helps. Like, it changes the way that teams play. Listen, they turned the ball over like hotcakes in the first half. Second half, they turned it over twice. Dallas couldn't miss from 3 in the first half. They missed everything in the second half.
Well, that's the whole turnovers thing right there. With the easier chances, easier plays, it was just
here's the thing, right? Dallas is getting wide open shots. They're getting wide open shots. First half, they made them. Third quarter, they just missed them. That's the problem. That's the biggest glaring difference. Because, that's it. They're getting the open shots. They're just missing them. And then Dallas can't defend in the paint. They're not disciplined. They don't worry about
who
the
do they
bigs.
have to defend in the paint when you bring in Bertans and Cleaver to be your guys in the paint? Like, no shit.
But not just that. It's just like they're inattentive defensively. That's really an issue. Like, energy and effort is one thing. Like, energy and effort is defense, right? Being inattentive and just like as soon as a guy gets in the middle of the lane, you're just so jumpy and just want to get to him that you just completely forget that Kevin Looney's even on the fucking floor, and then you let him do it over and over and over and over and over again. That's just bad.
And then last night was maybe where you can say the Mavs need to play the full game. It's more of, if you're going to play 4 quarters of iso ball and continually try to do the pick and roll switches to get Curry on the ball, they're just going to go do it on the back end to you. And if you're really going to rely on Luka one-on-one versus 3 or 4 other guys that can take you off the dribble and are more capable jump shooters at home, that's kind of where in game 3 for the Mavs, which we'll talk about tomorrow, we got to see what type of energy and what they put up here, because last night they had it until what Beer Guy and Eddie saying 13 points in the third quarter. I guess the Warriors tuned in to Brett yesterday because I shit on the third quarter Warriors as a joke, and look what they did.
I mean, bro, this is it's just crazy because they're turning the ball over, and I'm telling people, I'm like, man, listen, all Golden State has to do is keep this within 13, 14 points, and they got a chance to win the game. We did a space with Finesse last night at halftime, and I said that Golden State was going to cover the 6.5.
Yeah, that's where
I was
tweeting with their guys, or texting their guys saying, man, I need to buy out this 6.5 or try to middle it, because you could have got a nice number. So shout out to anyone who had the 6.5. You got that cover. But boy, if you nailed them live, that was the spot to do it. Let's get into today's plays. We got the MLS. There's 4 games today, 10 tomorrow. So we'll be spending more time on that there. Then we'll go through the full MLB slate. Then we'll get into the Celtics versus the Heat. Make sure to give us that like, give us that subscribe. We appreciate all of you tapping in with us. If you're running it back later, or if you're live with us, start dropping your plays of the day.
Also,
we'll keep the MLS short. What up?
Also, anybody new to the show, MLS picks are some of the best money makers we have on this show. So please pay attention. This is usually one of the few times you're ever going to get Sosa to just shut the fuck up and listen. When Rex talks soccer, I shut the fuck up and listen. It's that simple.
And this is one of the worst weeks to be tuning in for the MLS, since it's the first one where they had the full midweek matches. So you have teams on the double road, or you have LAFC who has a match today at 3:30 after playing a Saturday night game at 10:30. So you have the travel spots here. So that's where I'm going to stay away from LAFC. Columbus, Toronto's the worst team in the league, with DC United, who's not much better. So we'll go to the Revs. They're on the double road, but we're not afraid when they're playing FC Cincy. We're going to take New England on the pick, or the draw no bet, at minus 130. A little bit of juice. You can play their money line at plus 145, but I could personally see this one ending in a 0-0 draw. You can definitely wait for lineups, but with Turner being back in net before his send-off to Arsenal in June, once he's back, New England's going to start turning around. Bo is the only guy missing out of the rotation, but with Heel and Buxa back rolling after a 2-2 draw midweek, I like what they have here on the road at Cincy, minus 130.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then the next one of the night, I'm going to keep fading Atlanta's defense until they prove me wrong. So I'm going to take the Nashville team total over 1.5 at plus 115. Atlanta's conceded 2 goals more often than not in majority of their games, when these two just ran it back 2 weeks ago. Sure was the Open Cup match. There is 5 total goals here. Nashville has yet to crack 3 goals at home in their new stadium. I think tonight is the come out party at 7:30. I think Mukhtar gets on the score sheet as well if you want to get it a little bit more spicy there. But Nashville, a team that used to be more reliant on defense when they're opening up and joining the MLS, now they're playing more expansive football. All
Absolutely.
right. 2 MLS plays for you tonight. 6 for the Revs game, 7:30 for Nashville. So some late plays. Let's get into the MLB. So the only doubleheader we have today is the Mets and the Rockies, I believe.
Chicago Yankees aren't, right? They just early.
No, that's tomorrow, because they have a 3:05 and then they have Sunday Night Baseball tomorrow.
Okay, no, I'm talking about. Okay, so they're running it back tomorrow, because I see they have the early start today. I thought of maybe that might be the case.
I did as well, but they fooled us.
Okay. But actually, that's the first play in that game that I like. That's the first game in which I like to play, which is the Yankees on the run line. Nasty Nestor's been solid. We already know that we fade Keuchel. We fade Keuchel even more when the start gets put off a day, because we all know that starting pitchers are creatures of habit. Right-handed hitting lineups perform very well against Keuchel. Keuchel has been asked the majority of the last 2 years. So I'm 100% on the Yankees on the run line. The price isn't great, but I just like I said, I like the bet. Obviously, when you bet on the Yankees, you're going to pay a Yankee tax anyway. Yankees on the run line at minus 115 is my first official play of the day.
Yeah, that's where yesterday we were on the team total. We got at over 5.5 at plus 115. The first five is 2.5 at minus 130, which is maybe a little bit too much juice there, but I like it. Let's just rock with the run line. Nasty Nestor, not a guy that's going to get you with the just pure power. He's going to mix it up and get it all over, and it's going to be hot and humid in New York today. So, do you think that makes the ball fly, or will that play better to Nestor's thing?
I think that the
It's
Yankees.
going
I
to be
think the
muggy,
Yankees
just like it will be in Philly.
I
It's
think
like
the
the
Yankees
same
get on the
temperature.
board. I think the Yankees get on the board early and could smack the shit out of them. To be totally honest, I think there will be plenty of runs. I lean the over. Early starts though have not been good for overs at all. Early starts have been varying towards the under the majority of the season all year. So
I got a spot for us here.
I
Maybe
know. I
we're
think
not
I
in love
know it.
with it, but I'm going to the Wild win game. We're going back to this one here, but Mad Bum, we took off on him when he faced the Dodgers in his last start.
Mhm.
But this season, he's been cooking with gas. The team is 3-0 in his last three starts, going up against Steele here. In his road starts, he has a 2.81 ERA. So I just think the Cubs or they're fading the Cubs on the first five. So we back Mad Bum on the money line at plus 125 is where I'm going to be going with it at a 220 start. You could take their plus 0.5 at minus 115 if you don't want to push if it's tied at the end of it. But with Mad Bum, how he's been going the first five, going against his Cubs lineup, I like it.
Let's get it. Obviously, today is the Saturday usual fate of Patrick Corbin. We're gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers on the first five run line. Let me get the price. The price was super juiced, but again, it's one of those where you get the pitching matchup you want. It's a minus 168. So what we can do is we can go the full game run line. Obviously, it's a parlay. It's you want at minus 168. That's a lot of juice.
I got minus 150 on mine.
Yeah, so it's a lot of juice, but it's a pretty sure bet, man. Woodruff going up against Corbin. We know Corbin is a 2-pack of dog shit. He's been fucking terrible the last two seasons full. We can't really find anywhere where he's performed great in the last two seasons. It's an easy fade for me. The only other play that I really love is the Dodgers on the money line. If I'm
I was about to say, let's talk about it. The Bills, they finally broke that 20-plus inning scoreless streak in the bottom of the ninth. So we're hot rolling into this game today.
Oh, yeah.
We got Nola on the mound,
Me and the wife were home by then.
Nola went 7 strong in LA with 8 Ks in an easy dub last weekend. That's kind of where we have Mike White. Or is this just going to be a bullpen day? Or do you think, or are you going to try to ride him out 3+?
Is it Mike or Mitch?
I don't know. Does it really matter?
Mitch
White. Sorry, Mitch. We know you're tuned in with us right now. I
It's another
apologize
white
for
guy,
that. But you can get them at plus 112 on the money line. And Nola, you have to what do you think?
If you're, I'm sorry. This is one of those bets where I really don't give a fuck if I lose. If I'm getting the Dodgers on the money line at plus money, you best believe I'm fucking hammering it.
On a 5-game winning streak where the Phillies games have won one of their past 5, and in the past 4 games, the total between both teams hasn't made it past 5 runs.
It's gonna be like 1,000 fucking degrees outside too.
Yeah, the offense has been non-existent when they return back to CBP, which isn't what you like to see after having a good West streak. But it's Nola Day.
Oh, I enjoyed what I watched last night. I enjoyed it. Dude, those IPAs that they sell at the ballpark, though, holy shit! Which one did I had? Like the Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah, I just go with the Slugger when I get there because that's that Phillies blue and maroon color, the Slugger.
Bro,
that's nice.
That Voodoo Ranger had me on tilt. That shit was.
We also have Konas there, which is
crazy.
Nice.
Those bartenders deserve a fucking conspiracy charge. Jesus.
Did you go into Paston Stowe?
Nah, we do the same thing every time we go to the ballpark. We always hit up the bar. We always hit up Bull's Barbecue. It's just, what I'm saying? It's like the staple at Citizens Bank ever since they opened. You can't really. I don't think I've gone to. I think like the last 6 or 7 like Phillies games I've gone to. That's where we've eaten. So
Anything else you like on today's baseball slate?
Vlad Guerrero 2+ total bases. Going up against I believe Hunter Green. Hunter Green gets smacked around. You got to think that Alek Manoah at home will pitch well. I like Vlad Guerrero to have a good game. Righties just absolutely murder Hunter Green. So Vlad Guerrero 2+ total bases at -120 is the only prop that I like today. Those are the plays for me.
Yeah, the only thing I would kind of like, just weird to say, but the Mets, they're finally hitting that spot where they got a lot of
Where everybody's
injuries
been
going.
hurt? Where
Yeah,
everybody's been hurt? Oh, okay, yeah. Like always. Like
yeah,
always.
it's
Okay.
finally hit.
Okay.
And this is where going into Colorado, where you have Carrasco as the favorite in game one going against Marquez. And then who's the starters for the other one? I believe it's Trevor Williams and Gomber. So that's kind of where I kind of just like the Rockies double up today.
Listen, as soon as I saw the situation with Scherzer, it's a stay away. If they're like the Mets immediately become an analysis team. You don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, Scherzer was looking like an ace. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. You don't know when DeGrom's coming back. I don't know where they're gonna find the starting pitching to maintain. I will say this: if they are able to hold the fort down while DeGrom and Scherzer are on the mend, they'll win the division going away because their owner will spend money at the trade deadline. But this next month is going to be a real scramble for the New York Mets. Betting them right now is a little bit volatile. Not even a little bit. It's a lot of bit volatile just because you don't know. Like the lineup's been solid, but starting pitching.
And that's where Carrasco in his past 4 starts, 8, 7, 6, 8 hits allowed, 4, 2, 0, and 8 earned runs allowed. When you're taking that to Colorado, you just have to be dicey of the little weather there more than anything else because they delayed it because of like snow and rain yesterday, so the ball might not be popping. That's just a lean, but I think if the Rockies lose game one, I'm definitely going to be firing on them game two, but that's for your discretion. Give us that like, give us that subscribe. Let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals where we've seen the Heat can win on the road. Celtics have dropped a few at home, but now with the NBA making sure that Smart and Horford got back so they can change the narrative because it seems like anytime you got a grip on the East in the series, they flip it. So Sosa, are we riding the Celtics wave here or you're going to be back in the Heat?
I gotta rock with the Celtics. They're a more talented team. Obviously, they went nuclear to some extent from 3, but I just expect the role players to play well at home. I think they have a better starting 5. They're just more talented across the board. Yeah, I got to rock with the Celtics, man. And I think the Celtics cover the 6.5. I also think that the biggest lead bet is a lock too. I think somebody's going to be up by like 20 at some point in this game. So, and it'll probably be Boston. But again, Boston is more talented. Basketball is the one sport where 9 out of 10 times talent wins out, unless you have just a really, really, really solid elite team across the board, which is how Miami's built. But my biggest reasoning as to why I rolled with Boston to win this series is star power. They have star power.
Do you really think Jimmy, because this is where when you're looking at player props and things like that, Jimmy's at 29.5 for points. And that's kind of where everyone else for the Heat, like 15 or lower.
Call it personal bias. I will never bet Jimmy Butler's points.
That's where I just think everyone was on the fade Jimmy last game because it's like, the numbers say anytime he scores 26 plus, the next game he goes under by a margin. Well, now guess what? You have 28.5 or 29 under there. I'm gonna lock it in tonight. I mean, I like the Celtics to win it as well and cover the 6, but I think Jimmy goes under.
Celtics -6.5. That's official for me. That's official for me.
The Celtics where the UFC plays.
If the Celtics win by margin. That's how they win ball games. Hello.
Now, I don't think Jimmy plays in the 4th tonight. I think it's one of those quick done and dusted. So if you rather jump on the Celtics at the first half -3.5, or you can get them first quarter. I don't really like to mess around with the fourth quarter here, but the 3.5 on the first half is also calling my name. But I just want to play Jimmy.
Grant Williams over 1.5 3-pointer at -115. And we're going to roll with.
We got Chad dropping a UFC play for you. Michael Pereira, -135. Always do your own research, but Chad, we love when people drop plays on stuff that Sosa and I do not cap.
Right.
Well, I cap UFC. It's fade Greg Hardy, but I'm pretty sure he's done now.
I'm also going to take a ticket on something that people might look at me crazy when I say it. I think I like Bam Adebayo to get a double-double tonight. I think Bam's going to finally assert himself. I think he plays well, but I think Bam will play well. I think Jimmy will not play as well. And I think that those role players go on the road and they become role players. I got Boston. Like I said, I got Boston tonight. I think, again, I'm going to keep saying it. Basketball is the one sport where 9 out of 10 times talent wins out unless you have just a great assortment of role players, etc. Yes, Miami has that, but the talent on the other side is just that much better, in my opinion. So I'm rocking with them.
All right. I got another question for you here when going through the props, and I think this was one of more of the ridiculous things we've seen here. To get Marcus Smart to get 2 steals tonight, you can get that at even money or like +110, depending on your book.
Hammer it. Fucking hammer it.
And then if you even want to go steals blocks combo, if that's like the only way you can do it, he'll get one. I don't think he'll get more than one block shot, but he'll at least get you one there.
He'll get you the steals for certain.
Yeah. So I'll get another player prop going in here because if I can get that at even money, yeah, over 1.5 steals.
Also, keep in mind that both series on both sides have been very similar. Only difference is that Boston split against Miami. We've had 2 games in both series where teams just they just missed open shots, and then one game they made the open shots. That is basketball.
I think it's also this one's more of when you get Smart and Horford back, when those are 2 integral pieces, and you don't see Nesmith having to play 20+ minutes, it makes a little bit of a difference for the Celtics there, in my opinion.
You got a good point. Nesmith is you don't really necessarily want to be seeing him at this juncture in the season when he hasn't been playing. I mean, don't get it twisted though. He made 2 of the best plays of this series.
Oh no, that's what I'm not saying. But when you're relying on him to get you 20+ minutes, and you're taking 2 of your key rotation guys out to get you 20+ easy every night on the first game on the road, it's not going to look pretty more often than not.
Big facts.
Coming back home, this is kind of where you got to see Spo. This is the game where everyone could eat their word, and if Miami just comes out here and smacks them just because Smo makes the adjustment, and to your point, if you're thinking Jimmy goes under and Bam gets a double-double, that puts them more closer to covering that 6.5, because usually when Jimmy's not going, that's when all the rest of the players get their 10+, which will make, and that's when the Celtics start to struggle more. But what do we think of the over-under?
That's my last official play. I like the over. That's what I'm wrong. I like the over 208.
Appreciate you come at me, bro.
This matchup has veered more, has resulted in more overs and unders by actually a wide margin. People are just so tied up in this heat culture bullshit that they don't realize that when they lose, they get blown the fuck out and the game goes over. And it's been like that all year. That whole heat culture, we play defense. We've talked about it on the show before. It's all bullshit. They play gimmick defenses in which they have to hope that the other team just puts up bricks. But for some reason, people who are, casual basketball fans don't fucking notice that. Against Miami, you're going to get wide open shots. It's a make or miss league, though. We got about 150 wide open fucking jump shots against Miami. We didn't hit them.
Furkan and Niang.
We didn't fucking make them. Truth is the truth. I mean, Miami's been doing that all year. I mean, any team that plays zone for extended periods of time, if you're a professional basketball team, you're going to get wide open looks. Are you going to make them?
How much longer do you think the zone stays in the NBA?
Oh, well, they'll never change it because obviously illegal defense was a thing back in the, and this is another thing that people forget. Like, they outlawed playing zone. They brought it back. I don't think it's going anywhere, to be totally honest with you, because
No, I'm just saying, when can coaches actually install good enough zone offense that,
Well, it
like, that's
depends
what
on.
I'm just saying. Like,
See, it depends on your personnel because we saw last night. Perfect example. Last night in the third quarter, Golden State went to a box and one against Luka Doncic.
yeah, they did.
They did, and what that pretty much says is we want you to someone else to beat us. And again, like I said, they got the open shots, they just did not hit them.
See, I have a difference. Which is weird to say. Like, if you play a 2-3 or 3-2, I have no issues with that. But if you play box and one, I'm completely fine with you playing box and one in the NBA. That's just
Right, because right. I'd be cool with it too because these guys are
don't let Luka
professionals.
beat you.
You would think that professionals would be able to hit wide open shots. But again, when there's no one near you and you're just missing, you're going to get that. I mean, bro, you as a Sixer fan, do you know how fucking frustrating it was watching us get the shots that we wanted to get and just not make them?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Two things from last night's game into how we can wrap it up. What about the Kleber and the Lee, or the Bertans and the Lee scuffle where he like walked over him after getting
Damian
a
Lee
three
better be thankful that Steph Curry's his fucking brother-in-law. That's my take on Damian Lee.
And then he got the makeup call, or Bertans got the makeup call 2 seconds later with the inbound play. It was funny as shit. And they looked at it for like 7+ minutes. I'm like, dude, and they gave him double text. I was just like,
it didn't make any sense, right? It made no sense whatsoever.
Reggie pestering, trying to get the Mavs to get Draymond to get his second tee was probably one of the best like commentary I've heard in a while, where they're just like telling them to just push him, get a bench tee to try to get Draymond. That was the fun. Like, I can't believe they had someone commentating
the
that.
The best is, and this, I'm glad you mentioned that, because if you remember when they start coming for Draymond, the ref goes up to Draymond. He's like, you already have one. Like, he says it to him like 10 straight times. You already have one. You already have one. You already have one. Shut the fuck up. And Draymond was like, you're right. You're right. I do have one. And I'm going to shut the fuck up. And he kept it moving because he knew it already. So,
and then the last thing is the Mavs bench / Theo Pinson wearing the white shirt and just completely faking out Steph the whole time.
When
but the Mavs bench getting fined $50K plus a game for being on the court. It's worth it.
Listen, that's part
Cuban's like, here, I wipe my ass with that, man. If you can affect the game by having us have a sixth player just by having that corner be a little bit smaller, I'll pay $50K.
Absolutely. And remember, we're talking about a guy in Jason Kidd who ran into a guy with a drink to get a timeout before. I mean, he all the Bush League little bullshit. Like, that's why you gotta love Jason Kidd, because I think this next game coming up, Jason Kidd's about to pull something out of the 1960s that he saw, like from fucking Jack Ramsey. Like, listen. Jason Kidd's proven to us that he's a genius as a coach. I don't use that word lightly. I believe that like he's shown some levels of genius throughout these playoffs. It's going to be really interesting.
-2.5 against the Warriors at home.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, man. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, but again, I really do think that Jason Kidd's going to have something. I mean, whether it's him sending out a goon like John Chaney to just fuck up these players or do something, like he's got something in his back pocket in this next couple of games where it's like, I don't think Dallas wins, but I think that Dallas shows us something different. I mean, if we're talking about adjustments, the only coach we've seen make wholesale adjustments to this level over the last 2 years from series to series is Tyronn Lue. If we're being totally frank and honest about this, I mean, Tyronn Lue, I mean, you talk about adjustments game to game. This motherfucker would have 2, 3, 4 different defensive sets that you never even seen in the first 2 or the first 3 games, just to have something different to throw at you. That's what Jason Kidd's done a really good job of, and I like for it to continue. I think that they come out with great energy, and in Game 3, it's back against the wall at the crib. They're going to have to win. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But last night we got a really entertaining first half, and then we saw the Warriors basically stomp them the fuck out for the last 24 minutes. That's what we saw.
It was very painful watching that 6.5 just slowly die, because if you're holding it and you had hope, we knew.
Bro, once they were only down like 3 going into the fourth, or 2 going to the fourth. Oh, I was like, man, they're Gary.
Well, they hit the 3 like right off the bat, then they called the quick timeout. I'm like, yep, this is where I should load it up.
Yep, they hit the 3, got the lead. I'm like, yep, this shit's over. This shit's fucking over.
But we started off with the MLS. 2 plays we dropped there, ran through the MLB slate, got a fancy of plays there. Then we wrapped it up with the NBA where we're targeting a few players, a total, a spread. We went a little wild. We did all the hard work for your Saturday. Tail 1, tail them all, fade them, do whatever the hell you want to do. You're locking in the plays. We'll be back at you live tomorrow, probably even earlier than today. Give us that like, give us that subscribe.
Also, be sure to check out Spin Doc Sports on Pub Sports Radio in 20 minutes. He's on with Jose Bouquet, the king of K-props. Spin Doc Sports is going to get you right for Saturday on Pub Sports Radio in 20 minutes. Make sure you guys tap in with the king and holler at us. Appreciate anybody who's been rocking with us. Check out The Last Word with Sosa. It's only available on Spotify. Apple Music is being a real fucking hoe. It's taking a little second, but we will. But I will have it. I will have it on Apple Music by the time the next episode comes out. On me.
Hey, if you need some college football takes, JD already dropped you games of the line and the Pac-12 futures extra dough JD on our channel. We have another episode coming up this week. Make sure to be following at Yonkers CFB. And
if you're not following him, then you don't really like money. This is why I love the programming that we give you on Daily Bread. We showed y'all Prize Picks when they first no one even knew who the fuck Prize Picks was. And JD was on Prize Picks before anyone. We've been doing this shit. I mean, y'all are just getting hip.
College football player props with JD.
Stop playing with my boy JD.
The Saturday college football player props where he looks like a zombie for the first 5 minutes because it's 6:30 a.m. when we're streaming. Then he gets to talk about
once he gets the coffee in him, like I said, y'all, JD Yonkers, man, dude is the sharpest motherfucker in America when it comes to college football. I stamp that.
We out.